Arsenal receives a significant boost for a £50 million striker, and Arteta provides updates on recent injuries after the clash against Crystal Palace. All of this and much more, you can check out now in this news summary. But before that, if you are also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to the channel now and stay up to date with everything that happens behind the scenes of the biggest team in the Premier League. Without further ado, let's get to today's updates. Arsenal get £50 million transfer chance as boss admits no power to keep Arteta target. AFC Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola has admitted he does not have any power to retain Arsenal and Newcastle United transfer target Dominic Solanke at Dean Court. The Cherries manager has just given further fuel to Mikel Arteta and Eddie Howe's hopes of signing the 26-year-old. Solanke has emerged as a possible target of Arsenal and Newcastle in January, with the Premier League teams desperate to reinforce their respective frontlines. Arsenal have only scored 37 goals through their 20 Premier League fixtures this term to rank 7th in the division. Newcastle, meanwhile, rank in 5th with 41 goals over 21 games. Yet Bournemouth rank in 11th with 28 in 19 matches thanks heavily to Solanke scoring 12 times. Arsenal and Newcastle are interested in a January transfer for Dominic Solanke. No English top-flight player has contributed more goals for their club this term than Solanke. He has penned 43% of the Cherries' strikes so far to rank 3rd in the Golden Boot race. Only Mohamed Salah of Liverpool and Erling Haaland, 14, of Manchester City have bagged more. What Solanke has offered at Bournemouth has convinced Arteta and Arsenal to consider his transfer in January. The Daily Star reports that Arteta views the one-cap England attacker as his no-2 target, behind Ivan Toney of Brentford. The Cherries may also sell Solanke for £50 million. Solanke has impressed Arsenal with his hard-working displays for Bournemouth, but has also gained interest from West Ham United. While the Telegraph notes that Newcastle contacted the Cherries to register their interest in a transfer, but Bournemouth are reluctant to cash in. What has Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola said about Dominic Solanke's transfer? Now, Iraola has fueled Arsenal and Newcastle's hopes for Solanke's transfer by admitting he does not have any power to keep the striker at Bournemouth in January. But the Spaniard is hopeful of having him at Dean Court beyond the deadline as it would take an unnatural bid. "I don't have any power," Iraola stated, via quotes by the Daily Express. "We have an opinion about keeping Solanke at Bournemouth, and there are always negotiations, and if someone meets the expectations of the club then. But the expectations are really high, so I don't think that will be happening. I think Solanke will stay, but I can't guarantee 100%. He's happy and performing well, and everyone is happy with him. It would take something unnatural for him to leave." Bournemouth are under zero pressure to sell Solanke to Arsenal or Newcastle in the January transfer window. The Cherries tied their 6'1" marksman down with a new contract through to June 2027 in September. He has also started in their 19 Premier League fixtures this term. Transfer news expert Fabrizio Romano said he expects movement at Arsenal in the last week of the January window, with some exits looking possible. Speaking exclusively to Caught Offside for his latest daily briefing column, Romano explained that Cedric Soares seems to be someone whose future is open as we approach deadline day, although there might be other names leaving the Emirates Stadium in the near future. Romano didn't name any specific players, but we've seen many transfer rumors involving Arsenal first-team players who aren't regular starters, such as Emile Smith-Rowe, Mohamed Elneny, Eddie Nketiah, and Aaron Ramsdale. It's hard to imagine all of them leaving, especially as Romano made it clear that Mikel Arteta seems interested in keeping Smith-Rowe, despite West Ham's interest. Still, perhaps names like Cedric and Elneny are more realistic, so Arsenal fans will undoubtedly keep an eye on the development of these stories in the coming days. As for other players who could leave Arsenal, I would keep an eye on Cedric Soares and more players. Nothing is imminent at this stage, but next week there could be some movement in terms of outgoings. We'll see, said Romano. Arsenal won 5-0 against Crystal Palace yesterday to bounce back after a recent poor run, but many fans still hope for a chance to strengthen the team before the end of the month. David Raya sends an overnight message to Brentford's Ivan Toney amid Arsenal transfer talk. After thrashing Crystal Palace 5-0 at Saturday lunchtime, Arsenal fans would have been tuning in to the evening game and Ivan Toney's return. The 27-year-old returned from his 8-month betting ban by scoring a free kick and helping his Brentford side end their 5-game losing streak by beating Nottingham Forest. Even though the Arsenal faithful would have been delighted by their team's attacking performance yesterday, you just know that many of them would have been still screaming at their club to sign Ivan Toney. But it wasn't just the Arsenal fans who were watching the in-demand striker in action yesterday, because David Raya was also tuning in, as he posted on his Instagram story. The Spanish goalkeeper is on loan from Brentford and he reacted to Ivan Toney marking his return in style. After a free kick on the edge of the area, the England international did amazingly well to get it around the wall and into the back of the net. That equalizer set the tone for his team to go on and eventually win the match. It also saw David Raya post a 3-word message on his IG story which simply read, "Never in doubt." Will Arsenal sign Ivan Toney? It's pretty obvious that Brentford will sell if the price is right. Plus, Toney has been hinting that he would be open to a move this month, as he told Sky Sports. This is just a case of whether Arsenal have the money to splash the cash on the player and if the Bees would accept an offer this month. Despite that win yesterday, Thomas Frank's side are still in trouble and they should be looking over their shoulder when it comes to the relegation battle. Now, with Toney in the 11, if he stays at the club, then it's pretty obvious that they stay up, but if he leaves, then it massively increases their chances of going down. So, whilst Arsenal fans crave for that number 9, and Toney in particular, they might just have to wait until the summer for him now. And now, to wrap up, let's check the latest updates from Mikel Arteta regarding the injuries of Declan Rice and Gabriel after the scare against Crystal Palace. The pair were both involved in opening the scoring as Rice's corner was headed in by Gabriel at the back post just after the 10-minute mark. Gabriel then popped up again to head off Dean Henderson and in to give the Gunners a commanding lead. Their domination continued into the second half as Leandro Trossard made it 3-0 with a swift counter-attack. Gabriel Martinelli then rounded off the scoring with an injury-time brace. Prior to that late double from Martinelli, both Rice and Gabriel were replaced by Jorginho and Jakub Kiwior respectively. Both appeared to be struggling with injuries as they came off. Rice in particular appeared to mouth "hammy" as he was walking off the pitch. Arteta, though, admitted that it was more of a precautionary measure. No, he was feeling some tightness, the Spaniard said of his club record signing. I don't know what muscle it was. But when he says that at 3-0, then obviously we don't want to take any risks. Gabriel also came off a few minutes later after going down following a collision with Jean-Philippe Mateta. Arteta revealed that the Brazilian had been struggling with impact of a tackle on his knee. The same with Big Gabby. He had some discomfort from a tackle in the first half and he was struggling a bit, so it was the right moment to take him off the field. Arteta will be hoping that neither player has a serious injury. The Gunners are currently already without Fabio Vieira, Jurriën Timber, Thomas Partey, Takahiro Tomiyasu and Mohamed Elneny due to injury and international duty. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.